Norbert asked me to present a bird view of the 3 offering plans we have in church so far. So the first one needs to be the calendar of offerings plan, because it was the first one established in the Adventist church that is functioning so far. So what are the characteristics of this offering plan? Well, you know very well because you are working under this plan. Special appeals are made during the divine service according to a yearly calendar of offerings voted by the General Conference. Another point, Sabbath school and other offerings are given for mission purposes. How are offerings allotted? Local church will have 24 Sabbaths, 2 per month. Conference, mission fields, section or union of churches will have 12 Sabbaths, 1 per month. And the division may allot some of those Sabbaths to the union. And the division will have 6 Sabbaths per year. And the GC also will have 6 Sabbaths per year. With understanding that this resource that goes to the GC never stays there. It's only a way to redistribute to foreign missions. I believe that not even the division will keep that money. GC offerings, this 6 Sabbaths here, will include disaster and famine relief, Adventist World Radio, Hope Channel International, Annual Week of Sacrifice, and World Mission Budget, or World Mission Fund, which includes support for the Unusual Opportunities Fund and the Church Mission Program. So, months with 5 Sabbaths, these Sabbaths are assigned by the division to any of the organizational levels already described, according to the division discretion. All Sabbath school offerings are GC managed funds, which means 100% go to mission. When we say, I fear to say GC, because by saying that, some people may believe that the GC is enriched by those offerings, which is not true, because those offerings don't stay there. Yeah. Mission offerings, which are GC funds, include 13th Sabbath offering, Sabbath school investment. Again, look to this name. What means? Someone is coming to the church, first time, and then someone will announce from the front, today is Sabbath school investment offering. What? Sabbath school is making investments. They will ask Team Aka to come to advise them how to do investments, or Marcus will come and advise them how to do investments. So you see, those are, and I know that you are working on those names. Thank offering, birthday thank offering, well, those names seem to be okay. No other offerings should be promoted or received during Sabbath school.
Yeah, this is very important. You should stop here because this is very, very important.
I am taking this from the working policy. All this information here is in working policy. So the only offering should be collected under the calendar of offering plan. The only offering collected during Sabbath school should be mission offering. Nothing else during Sabbath school. And then 25% of the funds received by the GC for the 13th Sabbath project will be appropriated to the designated project. The remaining 75% are appropriated to the World Mission Funds. Very few people know that. most of people believe that 100% will go to those projects. We need to explain that. Mission investment funds are GC funds promoted during Sabbath school based on special fundraising projects decided on by individual members or groups. And they are 100% mission funds. 25% of the funds are returned to overseas divisions in proportion to the regular annual base appropriations. Birthday and thank offerings, 100% mission offerings. Annual sacrifice offering are GC funds allocated to global mission. Disaster and famine relief, 50% reverted to the division's ADRA, and the remaining funds going to ADRA International. And then the Adventist World Radio offering. I believe this is and Hope Channel International offering. Yeah. This is the calendar of offering plan. So the next offering plan is the personal giving plan. This presentation will be very short because the personal giving plan will keep many of the features of the calendar of offerings plan with some modifications. This plan is currently used only in the North America division, as long as we know. How is this plan? They have, what is very interesting, they have three major offering categories: local, regional, and international. From where did they get that idea? Acts chapter 1 verse 8. Jesus said, "But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit will come upon you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem," which is local, Judea and Samaria, which is regional, and to the ends of the world, which is international. So they have those three major offering categories. Members are given the opportunity to designate the amounts they wish to give to each of the three categories. So you have three categories. Now you decide how much you will give to each category. It will provide funding for all programs and organizations included in the calendar of offerings. So in the calendar of offerings, you have this Sabbath for this Sabbath for that, this Sabbath for other, this Sabbath for other. Promote, give to us, give to this, give to that, give to that, give to this other. But this plan says, if you give this way to those three categories, you will cover all. We'll cover all those destinations that are included in the calendar of offerings. How much to give to each offering category? This morning I accessed the NAD website. They call it a personal giving plan. What they suggest? They suggest, just a suggestion, they suggest the local church should be given 3 to 5% of income. Very interesting, because they are using the proportional approach, which is biblical and is based on spiritual prophecy. You give a proportion of your income. But here, they are suggesting a proportion. Conference advance, they suggest 1 to 2% of income. And for World Mission Fund, 1 to 3% of income. The downside of this, of suggesting a proportion for offerings, is that for many people, When you reach the 5%, you are on the sailing. You stop there. When God, by not suggesting any proportion for offering, is allowing us to grow, and to increase that proportion. But for many church members, just by knowing that, they say, oh, the church is expecting that. If I reach that percentage, this is the sailing. And then special projects as God prospers. But the good thing is that they have a proportional approach related to offerings. This is a very interesting thing. And then comes the problem. This only applies to those who are giving on the envelope. But what happens if one Sabbath someone gives a cash offering on the offering plate? How you will deal with that? Well, any undesignated offerings go to the functional organization list on the calendar of offerings for that week. So they are kind of working with two offering systems. One offering system for offerings that are identified, that are given, planned, given in the envelope. And the calendar of offering, they are still working with the calendar of offering for undesignated offerings. And this can pose a kind of problem, because on Sabbath morning, what will you promote? Will you promote the calendar of offering, or will you promote proportional giving? What will you promote? You need to inform Sabbath morning the destination offering for loose offering. But how then can you promote the proportional offering? I believe it's a little bit difficult in terms of stewardship education. In terms of stewardship education, what will be our approach? For education, it will be better to focus on one object and to invest on that object, heavily on that object. So, on this personal giving plan, Sabbath school mission offerings, including birthday, thank offering, it's missing a letter, the 13th Sabbath offering, and the mission investment offering are to be sent to the GC, which, again, will not stay at the GC, will be distributed for mission. And now, let's move to the last one. This one will be a little bit longer, because I would like to show you the votes before going to the offering plan itself. I would like to show you some of the votes, the two votes that were taken in 2002 about the combined offering plan. This is the name of the plan, the combined offering plan. They took two votes, one during the spring meeting and the other during the annual council. So here I will present you a summary of those votes. First point here. This first point is very important. Offerings under this plan will be promoted as worship to God in response to His blessings. So how we promote offerings? Instead of saying to people, give to this, today is local church, today is this institution, today world radio, today disaster, today famine, today Advent, today a lot of destinations and people giving to different destinations. This plan says, hey, you give to God. Whenever God gives you, you give to God. You have not received anything from God, don't give anything. When God gives you, you give back to God. This is what this plan is saying. This is how offerings will be promoted in response to his blessing. And the purpose is that to align our practice with our theology. And to help people to see God's blessings and to attach their hearts to God. And this will be highly promoted. Highly promoted. All regular systematic offerings. All. You can imagine. Service, Sabbath school, youth program, prayer meeting, all offer you can imagine will go to a unified fund and will be distributed according to established guidelines. That's why it's also called simplified plan, but the real name is combined offering plan. All undesignated offerings, loose offerings in the plate, including Sabbath school and church service offerings, all are included in the combined offering and distributed according to the combined offering plan voted policy. This was voted in 2002. While encouraging the simplified offering system, the plan will respect the wishes of donors. If I want to take 100% of my offerings and put it on the Sabbath school of children because my son is there or my granddaughter is there, I am free to do that and I will be respected. So I still have the freedom of assigning my offering. I want to give all my offering to Adra. Okay, it will be respected. I want to give all my offerings to World Radio, Adventist World Radio. Okay. Look at this point, the second point. The vote says, I am copying the votes here. It will be understood that one's expression of worship through financial stewardship begins with tithing and the regular support of the church through regular systematic offerings. So this is the basic giving system. Tithes and regular systematic offerings. And this is one's expression of worship. Not collaboration, not contribution, not donation, but worship. The combined offering plan, says the vote, shall be considered the giving system recommended and promoted by the General Conference. How offerings are distributed. Look at this. Depending on what the division will vote, there is a range of 10% here that can be flexible. Local church will keep between 50 to 60% of all offerings that are unassigned. And under the combined offering plan, churches, members are encouraged, motivated, educated to give unassigned offerings, not to assign offerings. Because we say to them, when you assign offerings to one destination, all others are uncovered. All others are uncovered. You just focus your offering on this place, and all the rest of the world is uncovered. But if you give unassigned offerings, your offering will be spread out through all the necessities of the church. Local, regional, and international. Look at this. Then 20% will go to mission, international mission. And the remaining, you have 20% here, 50 to 60, then the remaining 20 to 30% will be distributed to mission, union, division. The division ExCom will set the percentages. How many will belong to the union? How much will belong to the union? What the percentage will belong from this 20 to 30%. So it will 100% here, 50 to 60 belong to the local church. So if you want to have more offerings here, what do? You don't ask people to give more offerings to the local church. You ask people to give more offerings. Because the idea here is to promote an equitable growth of the church. All must grow together. Not because I like my local church, I will give only to my local church. What about regional and international? Jesus said that we should be His witnesses in not only local, but also regional and international way. So, this offering plan is promoting an equitable growth. Every time we need to grow, all will grow together. No one can come and say, and visit my church and say, hey, I have a ministry, and please give to us. So, in this case, that ministry will go to the church board, and the church will decide from the budget to help that ministry or so. They cannot come and collect and extract money from the local church. Local churches are suffering. This plan is supposed to help local churches. Because many interesting ministries are coming and taking money from the local church and taking money. And the local church is suffering. And if we lose the local church, we lose all the structure. Because our structure is based on local churches. That's why we need to support the local church's needs. And of course, the local church needs to have a budget and work with a budget. Divisions, fields promoting without sacrifice offering and or investment offering, 100% of this offering will be remitted to the General Conference and will become part of the World Mission budget. Still, the votes that we're taking. How to implement this plan. Before implementation. This is crucial. It will not work. The combined offering plan is not a plan that just changed the way we distribute offerings. It's not. I have seen this plan to fail whenever people just change the way to distribute offerings. It will not work. Because it will require training pastors in biblical stewardship principles. If pastor does not understand that connection, why I'm bringing offering? I'm bringing offering to connect my heart to God. If pastor doesn't understand that, this plan will fail. Any plan will fail. So before the implementation, pastors must understand biblical stewardship principles and the combined offering plan. Second thing, before implementation, to develop a system for communicating how church funds are used. This is a revolution. If it happens, it's a revolution. Remember that poor field there in Mexico I am coming from. They are thriving. They are growing. Because they are doing this. They are doing this. It's simple, like 1 + 1 is 2. If you do that, you will succeed. If you bring pastors and you train them regularly, they will start learning. If you develop a system of communicating how church funds are used, members will understand and they will start giving. And then, this is another point, very important. This third point is also very important. Each church organization should name a department director whose primary responsibility will be to direct the stewardship department. When I was invited to be stewardship director for the first time, my division was recently started to implement this plan. And what the president told me, okay, Marcos, you will be stewardship director, you will be family ministry director, and you will be health ministry director. But I only expect you to do stewardship ministries. He said, the other departments, you will just answer the letters and answer emails, but your work is stewardship. Of course, I did not do that because I felt if that responsibility came to me, I also should do something on family and on health. But I understood his message. My main focus should be stewardship. And I started to work with pastors. I will focus on pastors. I cannot visit all churches of my field, but I can visit all pastors. And I started to focus on them. Still before implementation, to develop a comprehensive educational strategy for administrators, pastors, and members. Teaching them biblical stewardship. This is what the vote says. I'm not saying that. Biblical stewardship, I am giving regularly and systematically, as regularly as God is blessing me, under the proportional system, and as a way to recognize God's giving and to develop my gratitude and my attachment to Him. This is giving as expression of worship. And the procedures of the combined offering plan. We need to do it before the implementation. If we don't do that, this plan will fail. The calendar of offerings should be used for information or education, highlighting the ministries and functions supported by the combined offering plan. We can't speak about the different ministries of the church and what they are doing and how they are growing, how they are bringing people to the church, how they are helping us in the mission. But we are not giving to any specific ministry Sabbath morning. We are giving to God. And then the system, the combined offering plan, will distribute that offering in an equitable way so that each ministry will receive its share. What about the 13th Sabbath offering project? Well, listen to that. If every Sabbath we are giving to the same destination, we are giving, so first Sabbath of the quarter, all offering that is collected, help me, 60% local church, 20%, yeah, and 20% to foreign missions. Second Sabbath of the quarter, 60% local church, 20% mission, conference, union, division, and 20% world mission. Third Sabbath, fourth Sabbath, fifth Sabbath, sixth Sabbath, 11th, 12th, 13th Sabbath. What happens? The same. We are giving all Sabbaths to the same purpose, to worship God, and we must differentiate the purpose, why we are giving, from to what we are giving. Why we are giving? We are giving to honor God because He gave to us. How we are using those funds? Oh, that's a different story. We are using those funds to support mission here, here, and here, those different departments, different ministries. This is the way we are investing the money. But we are not giving to them, we are giving to God. Right? So the calendar of offerings is useful for us to highlight those different ministries. But what about the 13th Sabbath offering project? The vote says that this name, 13th Sabbath offering, should be replaced by quarterly world mission project. We still will have the projects. Each quarterly will have projects in different places of the world. But the name should be rephrased because we are giving all Sabbaths, not only the 13th. Quarterly World Mission Project shall be promoted on a quarterly basis. We should speak about this project and say each Sabbath, maybe, every Sabbath, part of your offering will be supporting those projects on the back of your Sabbath school lesson. A percentage of the total world mission portion that the combined offering will be allocated to the quarterly project. Okay, from these 20% that goes to mission, a percentage of that 20% will go to those projects on the back of the lesson, the quarterly project. Okay, and the General Conference already has that distribution, how they will distribute that 20% that comes to the General Conference. This is very important. How we deal with direct appeals. Entities from the church, outside the church, that comes to make appeals. What says the vote? I'm not saying that. This is what was voted. All entities making direct appeals to the Seventh-day Adventist donor base will be requested to include in their donor materials an affirmation of the donor's prior responsibility to worship God through tithe and regular support of the church through regular systematic offerings. Such affirmation shall include a statement such as, contributions to the appeal should be above and beyond your regular return of tithe and regular systematic offerings to your local church. What this means? Do Adventist World Radio has the right to ask for money from our churches? Do ADRA has the right to ask money from our churches? Yes, they have. They may ask. But wait a minute. Remember that from that 20% that every Sabbath is going to the General Conference, ADRA is receiving a share. World Adventist World Radio is receiving a share. Hope Channel International is receiving a share. All is already receiving a share. And then they come again and say, hey, members, give. Hey, they can do that. But they must say, in other words, hey, church members, you are already giving to us. Because when you give your unassigned offering, a portion of your assigned offering is already coming to us. But if God is touching your heart and you want to give more, you are free to do that, and we will be happy if you do that. But what you are doing should be in addition to your regular support of the church. Remember, the idea is that we should grow in an equitable way. So no one is supposed to come and say, give all to me. And we kind of develop a kind of institutional selfishness. Each one is asking, give to me, give to me, give to me, give to me. And this plan is saying, hey, we will grow together. We go together. We are together. We are a world church. So we should go together. If anyone comes to make an appeal, that appeal must be fair and say, it should be given in addition to what you are giving to support all the needs of the church. The idea of the plan is really to support local church. And for them to know that we are for them, we are not against them. We are not trying to take money from them. We are interested that they grow. And then they will know that every time that they request offering, they will receive. Every Sabbath, every time, 60% will stay. And at the same time, every time they are contributed to foreign missions, every time an offering is collected. The plan is dealing with unassigned offerings. We encourage people to give unassigned offerings, because if they give unassigned offerings, they will promote an equitable growth of the church. Yeah. But they are free to do otherwise. And this plan is not promoted primarily for expecting a growth on offerings. This is not the goal of this plan. Yeah? The first goal of this plan is to align our practice with theology. To help people to change their minds from a donor mindset to a worshiper mindset. This is the main purpose of this plan. I give to God once He gives me. This is the basic point of this plan. It may promote offering growth, it may not. But the reason why we adopt it, it should be for primarily for theological reasons.